Welcome to the Untouchaballs podcast. Caden and Evan here bringing you another MLB episode. We got an exciting one for you guys today as the trade deadline just happened a couple days ago. So we're going to come in here and break down some of the biggest trades that did happen throughout this deadline. But first off, Evan, how we doing today?
Doing great, Caden. It's nice outside. We had a great deadline. I'm ready to talk about it. How you doing?
Not too bad. Yeah, like you said, we saw some very names that at least we didn't expect to be moved end up getting moved. And for some big packages, we're going to start off with probably the most surprising one, at least in my eyes, out of this entire deadline was the Padres acquiring Mason Miller and JP Sears from the A's for Leo Dallas DeVries, Braden Nett, Henry Baez, and Eduardo Nunez. Obviously, the biggest piece right there is Leo DeVries, one of the top prospects in baseball, in some people's eyes, maybe the top prospect in baseball. And we saw him get moved for one of the best closers in the game, in Mason Miller, who still has a couple years of control as well.
Yeah, this is a crazy one. This is kind of like an MLB to show, or like a dynasty move. This wasn't like something you normally see. Interesting move. I don't think we've ever really seen a deal like this ever. I did see like a stat. The last time a top 10 MLB prospect was moved at the deadline was Eloy Jimenez in 2017, which that really shocked me. I was like, dang, like at the deadline, I felt like there's been higher prospects, but I guess not. And I mean, yeah, I see. I mean, the Padres want to win now, and I'm all for it. Because you could take the safe route. Which like a team like the Padres, you gave up James Wood before. There's other I know it was a Trey Turner or another. Like they've been known for giving up these prospects that turn into studs. Like like you could just like go sit in a corner like, all right, well it sucks we lost James Wood, but no, they aren't. They just like screw it. Let's go sell our magic beans and our prospects. Like they could be awesome. It doesn't. They're not guaranteed. Let's just go get the guaranteed in Mason Miller throwing 103, shutting down the ninth every game, and having the best bullpen in baseball. I honestly, I mean, if I were the I feel like the only scenario that makes sense is for the Padres where they're in right now. Any other way, I wouldn't have done this deal. Um, but then again, I also love it for the A's too. I think this is a win-win deal, honestly, Caden, because I think DeVries, like that's the type of talent you want to get back for your closer.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you mentioned the Padres having the best bullpen in the league. Their back end. You have Adrian Morejon, Jeremiah Estrada, Robert Suarez, Mason Miller. You still have someone like Jason Adams.
Jason Allen.
Like that bullpen's filthy now. Like they're going to be locked down from sixth inning on every day. You kept Cease. You like the Padres are looking to compete, and I mean we see it seem like year in year out. AJ Preller makes one crazy move, whether it be off season or trade deadline, where he's selling off some of these top prospects for win now talent. And yeah, you get one of the best closers in the game, and Mason Miller. You get JP Sears, who he's not bad starter. I mean, their rotation's been not great this year behind like the mainstay. So throw him in the back end. I think that's good. But yeah, you talk about the A's. They're not competing now, obviously. By the time they were competing, you probably would have had to pay Mason Miller by then. And in return, you get one of the best prospects in baseball in DeVries, who still only 18 years old. Right now, he's the number 3 overall prospect on LB Pipeline. Like you don't see I mean, you mentioned it with Eloy in 17 being the most recent top 10 prospect. Like you don't see those often, especially at deadlines. And for the A's to get that in return for one of the best closers in the game, I think, just like you said, I think it's a win-win for both sides. Padres are going for it. They're trying to finally get over that hump, and the A's are building to what could be a very nice lineup in a couple of years' time.
Yeah, I mean that infield, that future of him, Wilson, Kurtz, you're like, oh my gosh, that could be really nasty. But yeah, like you said, I really like. I mean, the Padres, man, have a deadline. Have a deadline. I mean, yeah, like we didn't even talk about Mason Miller, right? He wasn't even the guy we even mentioned in the pregame show,
No.
right?
Who would have
So
thought he was going to get moved?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it
Like,
happened so fast. There wasn't even rumors. It was just like the night before. They're like, "Oh, well, he could get moved," and then he got moved.
and then
So
that morning, it's like Mason Miller's a Padre. Just kind of out of nowhere.
awesome, man.
And then
I love it.
yeah, working our way down this list, the next big one was the Astros reacquiring Carlos Correa and cash from the Twins for left-handed pitcher Matt Mikulski. So Correa gets back. He's going to be a mainstay for them now at third base with Pena still holding down short. And the Astros right around the top of that AL West trying to do their normal thing, make a late out push, and just come ready for October.
Yeah, I mean, Cade, we were wrong about the Astros. I mean, they're still winning without anybody. They don't got Jordan right now. They just lost Paredes for the year. So, like, I get moving for a guy like Correa. Definitely another guy no one was really expecting to get moved. I don't think we mentioned him either.
Nope.
Which, I mean, interesting because he hasn't had a very good – like, he hasn't been very good. This year especially, he's not been good. I think he's kind of at the back end. Like, his peak years are past him at this point in his career. Like, the ankle isn't where it was in my eyes, I think. But I like it for the Astros. You know, I mean, you're bringing back another bat. Obviously, you're getting cash. How much do you know? How much they owe him still? I mean, I think it's still a large chunk.
It is. I know the Twins are eating some. I don't know exactly how much though.
I know he's owed a lot. It's definitely a lot of money.
It is.
So Astros wise, I like it because like if you're still trying to win, and at that point Suarez is already gone, Mahone was already gone. Like there wasn't really like Arenado. I think Arenado like they tried training for Arenado before, and like he like declined to go to the Astros.
Yeah, in the offseason for some reason.
Yeah, and like the Angels weren't. They're trying to compete still, so they weren't going to trade Mancada, so there wasn't really any options. So I like it for them. It's going to be pricey, but again, they're trying to go for it. And on the Twin side of things, I know they're trying to sell the team, and you're getting out of a really bad contract there in Correa that probably was going to tie you up for a while there. So again, I think that was a win-win move for both teams in my eyes.
Yeah, another one. We didn't really mention this in our previous episode that we were going through. Didn't look like it was probably going to get moved, but I mean, you get back at the Astros where he's excelled in his career. Astros were still going for it, and the Twins. I mean, they just went complete fire sale this deadline. They sold everyone who had any bit worth of a price tag to their name, so they went complete the other way. Astros, yeah, I mean, they're trying to compete, and if you can try to rekindle some of that Correa magic in Houston, then it's perfect, especially with Paredes going down.
Yeah, I think they made a couple moves, correct? I think they moved for Sanchez. There's another one they made, Jesus Sanchez. And then I know they were trying hard to get pitching too, right? They tried getting Cease. They couldn't land him, obviously. But, man, I'm Astros, man.
Yeah, and I mean, now we go to their in-division rival, and this is a trade you actually did call on our show. I was hoping Gino would go back to the Tigers, but instead he goes back to Seattle from the D-backs for Tyler Locklear, Hunter Cran, and Juan Burgos.
Interesting package, really, I think. That was the first thing, at least I was thinking when I saw that deal. I was like, wow, this guy, like, they're hyping him up like he's going to be the biggest guy he's traded at the deadline. Like, teams going to be lining up, and that's not really, like, it's a package. Like, honestly, I feel like that's more of a realistic package than, like, I felt just like a team was going to have to overpay to get him. You know? Like,
yeah.
Lockhart, he wasn't even a top 100 prospect, right? Like, he's just outside of it or something.
Yeah, Locklear was the Mariners' wide prospect, Cran 16, and Burgos was 17.
Yeah, so, like, I feel like that was, like, it was getting, like, hyped up, like, oh, yeah, you're going to have to give up, like, a big top guy to go get him, which didn't, so good on the Mariners' part, because you didn't have to give up too much. I think it's maybe a little bit of a letdown if I'm a D-backs fan. You're, like, wishing you got more for what Suarez has been able to do this year. But either way, Lockhart looks like he's been pretty good in the minors. You just got rid of Naylor, so he's going to slide right there at first base. Probably going to be trying to be your franchise first baseman. So still not a bad move in my eyes, but like I know we were talking about the Mariners before, like trying to go for it, and here they are trying to go get some bats to go for it. So I love it for the Mariners.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Naylor trade here in a couple minutes, but like you're saying, I also thought we would have saying it'd take a little bit more of a package to bring in Gino. Apparently, the D-backs were good enough with this, and yeah, good for the Mariners. They've been lacking offense. You have great pitching. You needed some bats. You're able to bring in Gino, who's already over 36 home runs this year and 896 OPS. Like, he's been raking. Get him back in Seattle where he's played before. See if he can continue that hot streak. He's going to be a 45-ish home run guy come season's end. it'll be good for them, especially if they can make a postseason push. Just have that extra firepower in the lineup. And yeah, I mean, I'm with you. It just seems like, at least in our eyes, pre-deadline, that the Mariner or not the Mariners, that the Diamondbacks will be able to get maybe at least a little more in return for someone
Interesting
like
thing too, I think it's like they also traded him on that the day before the deadline. You know, they didn't even wait till the day of. Which, I mean, I don't know how much of a difference it would have made, but like I feel like people would have been like, all right, I'll give you a little. You could have gotten something. I don't know. It again, not bad. You know, I feel like it's like a B- return. I feel like if I to grade it.
Now, though, a trade that also happened the day before the deadline, where we saw a lot of big names get moved, was Phillies acquiring Johan Duran from the Twins for Eduardo Taillon and Mick Abel, two top 100 prospects in return for, once again, like we're talking about Mason Miller, one of the best closers in baseball, in Johan Duran.
I mean, you saw this deal. I was like, dang, like relief pitching's gonna be pretty expensive. That was the first thing I think everybody thought, and it was. Which I get it. Phillies, you definitely need, you want that back end guy, which you got him. It came at a price. That definitely came at a price. I mean, Mick Abel, obviously, he looked pretty good in his short stints so far in the show. And then Eduardo Tate, top 100 prospect, knows he's got a lot of juice in his bat. He's pretty young. So that one probably definitely hurts because I know like Real Muto is pretty old. So you know how many years you're going to have left with them. But again, they're a team. They're an older team. They're trying to go win right now. So I love it for them. You know, go get your guy. You know, again, and for the Twins, I really like it for the Twins. I think that was about as good as a package you could get for a guy like Duran. So.
Yeah, I think this is good on kind of like the Mason Miller trade. Win-win on both sides. Where the Phillies, their biggest hole was their bullpen. They had Jeff Hoffman running that closer job last year. He obviously went to Toronto. They tried some different guys this year, from Matt Strom, Jordan Romano. Hasn't worked great. Now you bring in a bona fide all-star level closer to lock down that team. Yeah, you mentioned Real Muto getting older, but I think you hit on it right after. Like, this is an older team. Their window is right now. They don't got many years left of this, like, World Series contender type window. So, yeah, to give up a 18-year-old catching prospect in single A or high A, that's worth it. I mean, Mick Abel, I liked what we saw of him this year, whether it be in the minors or the bigs. I think he's going to be a good starting pitcher going forward in the major league. So, kind of like you were saying, I think it win-win both sides. Phillies get what they desperately needed. And the Twins in a complete fire sale. You get two top 100 prospects in return, including a major league ready arm in the rotation. I think that's great for both sides right there.
Hit on the head.
Now we got the Yankees acquiring David Bednar from the Pirates for Rafael Flores, Edglin Perez, and Brian Sanchez. This was on deadline day. So the Pirates giving up their all-star type closer for two catchers.
Yeah. Interesting for the Pirates. I don't know, man. And I love how like that first game that came out, he was one of all three of them gave up runs. Like their first.
Yes, Jake Bird, Bednar, and Doval all gave up runs, and they ended up losing 13-12 to the Marlins.
Brutal. That's brutal. All timer right there. But I mean, I know these weren't like as highly touted prospects. It's crazy how many like catchers like the Twins have like put across the league. Like I know didn't they trade another one with Duvall? It was Jesus Rodriguez is also a catcher that they trade. So like they just have a ton of catching out there. But you got it. I mean, the guy he had a great year. Obviously, he's had ups and downs in his career. Yankees again, your window is pretty much right now. So I thought it was you didn't give up anything in my eyes that was too like crazy. So I liked it.
Yeah, no, I like it for the Yankees. I mean, they did, I think, a good job bolstering up their bullpen this deadline. I mean, the offense has been pretty good. You brought in a third baseman already like a week ago. Actually, yeah, the McMahon trade happens, I don't know, a couple hours after you and me recorded our preview pod last week. So they got their third baseman. Yeah, you bring in Bednar, you don't give up, at least in my eyes, too much. I think, yeah, good move for the Yankees because just like the Phillies, this is their window right now to kind of win now. And, I mean, everyone knows if you have a good bullpen, that's going to help you, especially in the playoffs when starters are only going 4 or 5 innings. So you add him, you have a couple other arms. I think that is, yeah, that's a good move for the Yankees. And then, yeah, not the Mariners, the Rangers were making moves off of being one of the better teams since post All Star break. They're still trying to fight to make the playoffs, maybe make our Rangers World Series predictions not look as bad, or not winners, but losing in the World Series with both that, where they get Merrill Kelly from the D-backs for Cole Drake, David Hageman, and Mitch Bratt, three pitching prospects in return for good old Merrill Kelly.
I mean, it's an old rotation, but dang, it's pretty like that. Evaldi, DeGrom, those three. That's a pretty nasty trio right there. Like if they do make the playoffs, watch out. But it's a big if, and they gotta stay healthy. I mean, I get it for the Rangers. I mean, you're kind of in too deep to like try and sell now. You know, the Semien and Seager, you gotta go for it. So they didn't seem like they gave up too much for him. I know, like that definitely didn't seem like a location anyone was really like thinking for Merrill Kelly. So it's kind of out of the blue, which I like those. You know, I like being surprised. But again, I feel like that's not too bad of a deal for the Rangers. I don't know too much about the prospects that the D-backs got for them, but they aren't any of their top prospects, so I like it.
Yeah,
I like the Rangers.
I mean, you mentioned it, but the Rangers pitching staff might be old, but it's been just one of the best pitching, like starting rotation throughout this entire season. And now you have Merrill Kelly, who's got a 3.22 ERA over 22 starts this year for the D-backs. Slides in perfectly in that rotation. We still got DeGrom and Evaldi at the top. Got Merrill Kelly. And I mean, shoot, Patrick Corbin's still being decent this year. Like, he's been the worst pitcher in baseball for the last, like, 3 seasons. Gets over to the Rangers, like, you know what? Let's tune in, like, a sub-4 ERA finally and be a halfway decent back end. Like, as a 5-starter, you'd love having Patrick Corbin this year, which I don't think anyone thought they'd say at the start of the season. So it might be an old pitching staff, but, I mean, I know we've been saying it a lot over these last couple of teams. The Rangers are in their win-now mode. Everyone's old on this team. All their good players, Seager, Semien, you mentioned, DeGrom, Evaldi, mid-30s, Merrill Kelly, mid-30s. Like, they're hoping, if it's not this year, next year might be that last kind of possible.
Last crack.
So they're going for it. I think Merrill Kelly really does help. So, I mean, yeah, like you said, face in the playoffs. Imagine an ALDS series where games 1, 2, 3, like it's a 5-game series. You could be done in 3. It's DeGrom, Evaldi, and then Merrill Kelly. Like, you don't want to face that if you're opposing lineups.
Do you know how far they are out of the playoffs?
I think last I checked, they were only a game out of the wild card.
Okay, so yeah, they're right there.
I'll pull it up real quick, but
yeah, I would feel like this would be like one of the last teams I'd want to face in the playoffs. They've already had that championship experience. I mean, like you said, they're really old. The only really young player they really have in their roster is Wyatt Langford. I know they got like Evan Carter too, who's had a good like kind of bounce back year. Definitely, I would. They're like a dark horse. I know we had them win the World Series or losing the World Series, but like that's a scary team at the end. Like kind of like how the Tigers did last year. I could see them like let's just get hot at the end of the year and go win it.
Yeah, the Rangers they're game out of the wild card right now. Game back of Seattle, only 2 back of the Yankees, and then only 3.5 back of the Red Sox for the top wild card spot.
That's gonna be crazy.
There. Yeah.
Who else is right out there? We're like the 2 other teams are kind of close.
Cleveland 2.5 back. Royals are 3 back.
Okay.
So I mean, they're Angels 5.5. No faith in them.
No.
Rays are 4.5, so they could maybe be sneaky, but
probably not.
It might come.
Yeah, it's mainly gonna be the Rangers there.
And the Rangers.
That's gonna be a crazy wild card finish. Imagine the Yankees that make the playoffs. Holy crap!
Yankees fall out.
Yeah,
that could be something.
Interesting.
Yeah, now the next trade, probably the last big reliever we saw got moved. Which this one's also kind of crazy. The Mets acquiring Ryan Helsley from the Cardinals for Jesus Baez, Nate Dome, and Frank Ellisault. That's what I'm going with.
Good try. I was wondering how you're going to do on that one.
Frank Ellisault.
I know, like, right off first, like, that, like, everybody was, like, the Cardinals fans were kind of, like, underwhelmed by the deal. They're like, oh, well, you just saw what Duran, like, what they brought back for that. But, like, at the same time, I feel like Helsley, he's not been good this year. But like again, change of scenery. I think that was a great move for the Mets. Like you said, bolstering the bullpen. That's what in the playoffs we've seen time and time again. Whoever's got the best bullpen typically makes it the furthest, or makes it. It just increases your odds. So I like it a lot for the Mets. Any reliever move I really like for anybody. Honestly, let's be fair here. Again, the prospects I saw, some of them are kind of some like hit or miss prospects. They're kind of boom or bust, but again, I think it's a whatever deal in my eyes.
Yeah, I think it's a good move for the Mets because I mean now at that bat you have Edwin Diaz, Ryan Helsley as your 8-9 guys, and yeah, I mean Helsley might have not been too great this year, but I mean we just look at last season, he was one of the best closers in baseball, led the league in saves, and his peripherals look basically the exact same as last year. It's just people have been hitting his fastball a little bit more. So now you get him into the Mets where it kind of seems like they've been a little bit of a pitching lab this year. We've talked about that. Maybe make a little tweak here or there, and we start seeing 2024 Ryan Helsley and the Mets back ends one of the best to go along with that offense. I mean, kind of like you're saying, I think the beating teams going out to relievers really anytime's good, like good move for them. But I mean, you didn't give up too much for someone who can be as good as we've seen Ryan Helsley be. I think that's a great move for the Mets.
Yeah, was he like 30 years old too? So you got probably some control, I'd assume. So yeah, go Mets. Yeah.
What about? I don't know if this one we'll spend too much time for, but Shane Bieber going to the Blue Jays for Cal Stevenson.
Interesting because Cal, he's been a kind of like a high rising prospect, which was like no one really kind of came out of nowhere. I like it for the Blue Jays. It's really risky because he's got a player option, so like. If he pitches bad at the end of this year, he's going $16 million next year. You're like, okay, it's a little scary. But then at the same time, he pitches really good. He's probably gonna get out of that deal and try and re-sign a bigger deal. So it's kind of a rental in the eyes of the Blue Jays. But you're in first place. You need a starting pitcher. You didn't give up one of your top end prospects. I love it for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, I think it's good for the Jays. I mean, yeah, you give us only maybe something like a little bit of a riser throughout the minors this year, but also you're getting someone like Shane Bieber who, when healthy, has been a very good starting pitcher. He's still rehabbing back from his TJ, but if you get him back mid-August to help go on that playoff run, that's just another piece you can add to that rotation that's just going to help you forward. But yeah, I think it's a good move for the Jays. You get someone like Bieber, and just like you say, if he pitches good, highly doubt he opts into that and goes and gets paid. So, and if he doesn't, you got a full year of Shane Bieber for only 16 mil, and let's say he pitches to a 4 ERA next year, you're fine paying 16 mil for that for a 4-5 guy in your rotation. But let's say he's bad these next couple months, he picks it up. He could go back to Shane Bieber now that he's fully recovered from Tommy John and be one of the best pitchers on that rotation.
Yeah, be the Cy Young again. He'd be the ace of the squad. He definitely has the potential to be that. So. Money deal.
I mean, you don't give them much yet. Like I said, I'm with you. I think it's a great move by the Jays. Now back to some more AJ Preller type moves, where the Padres acquired Ryan O'Hearn and Ramon Laureano from the Orioles for 6 prospects. Six dudes got moved for O'Hearn and Ramon Laureano.
Watch these guys just be absolute like monsters and just be like one of the worst trades ever. I can see that. But I like it for the Pods, man. I mean, if you're gonna trade your top prospect, that means the rest of them can go. Like, at that point, who cares? So yeah, you go all in. Go get yourself O'Hearn. That lineup is insane now. It's going to be a crazy year for the Padres. I mean, it makes every game like worth watching. You're like, all right, well, let's see what the squad's really got, Laureano helps because they really didn't have anybody in left field. They haven't been getting any production there, and he's been good this year. So I like it for the Pods, man. Go Pods. I'm rooting for them.
Yeah, I mean, it moves to sure up some of their less desirable positions. I mean, they brought in Freddie Fermin. We'll see if that does anything to help their backstop situation. But yeah, you get Laureano in the outfield. He's been hitting pretty good this year. Still has one of the best arms in the outfield. Ryan O'Hearn's been a dog. We've talked about him all year, starting DH in the All-Star game. Like, he's just been hitting, and so the Padres add that to the lineup. They're going for it. I mean, we talked about it, but they're going for it. I think that this is their chance, and Yeah, you give up a haul for it. You give up a lot of guys. But that's just what AJ Preller does. He'll give out the entire farm system if it means they got a chance of winning at this day and date, no matter the year.
Mm,
If he thinks it improves the team right now, he's fine selling off the farm system.
go for it, man. Go get yourself a ring.
Go for it.
San Diego needs one.
I mean, it's a great. It's always nice there. I've been to their stadium. It's awesome. I like a lot of the players in the Padres. It's cool seeing them compete because they're usually in some good games. They got good players. It's nice seeing them go for it. Maybe we get another type of Padres Dodgers playoff series. That's just
Awesome.
awesome. Yeah. Now, next week, we don't need to spend too much time on. We mentioned it a little bit earlier. Yankees did acquire Ryan McMahon from the Rockies right after we did our pod, and I was like, it might be 3 years too late, but it's finally going to happen. And yeah, we saw that happen for Griffin Herring and Josh Groves, two pitching prospects. We'll see if they do anything. I mean, for the Rockies, it's always good to just bring in pitching because no one can pitch there. So if you have guys under contract, like, nope, you're required to pitch at Coors Field. Yeah, maybe you can develop into something nicely. And then, yeah, you give him McMahon. Hasn't been a great year from this year, but still a great glove. Can still be a productive bat. And I think getting him into Yankee Stadium could help him because it's been weird his whole career. Like, he's been he'll have like a 760, 780 OPS. And he's good at Coors, fluctuates on the road like every Rockies player. But I think Yankee Stadium is a good place for him to end up, especially with the short porch there for a lefty bat. I mean, I don't have too much. Like, it's not like it's a big win for either team here. I think Yankees got McMahon 3 years later than they probably should have. Is my whole thing of this deal.
Yeah, it's a cheap option. Really cheap. Obviously, there wasn't anything that was going to like affect you really too much. So, good move by the Yankees. You know, honestly, the entire deadline they didn't give up their big guy in Spencer Jones or George Lombard at all. So, it was you brought in everything without giving up everything. So.
Yeah, they made smart moves without having to give up some of those big name guys.
Exactly.
And then, yeah, the other trade we kind of mentioned earlier was one you half predicted. You thought we'd see Josh Naylor go to the Mariners, but in return for, well, also with one of the arms. Instead, we saw the D-backs Mariners complete two separate trades. The one for Gino, we mentioned, and yeah, they get Josh Naylor for Brandon Garcia and Ashton Izzy. And this was also like right after we did the pod last week as well.
Yeah, you texted me. I remember you texted me like, "Oh shoot, what happened?" And of course Naylor. I was like, Again, I don't really know too much. They're bringing in. I mean, Naylor's obviously on an expiring deal, and they weren't going to sign him back. So you're getting something for what would have been nothing. Love for the Mariners. You know, I talked about it like, I feel like that was a good spot. There wasn't too many other options for him to go. But yeah, Mariners are right in the heart of that wild card race. Go get yourself bats, which they did. And, Naylor's a good hitter, man. I think he's one of the more underrated hitters in baseball. Even this year, he's having a pretty solid year. So, go for it, man. I love it. Everybody's going for it this year, man.
Yeah.
Everybody is.
I think it's been like that since the third wild card got added. Every team, for the most part, it's like, we're only 3 games back at the deadline. Let's go and make some moves to try to do it. And yeah, Mariners, I mean, we've said it before, and we'll keep saying it. Their one weakness is that they need power in their lineup. And now you bring in Eugenio and Josh Naylor, two players who are, I mean, Eugenio more than Josh Naylor, but they're two power-hitting players at the corner infield. Exactly what this team needs. That now you got juice in that lineup. I mean, your first 4 hitters include those 2 guys, Randy and J-Rod. Like, that's a good 1 through 4. And ever since we were completely talking bad on Julio right before the All-Star break, he's been starting to hit some more bombs, looking a little better. But they made the moves that they needed to get that lineup up to par with that, like up to par with that pitching staff.
I wonder, was J-Rod ever a disappearing player of the week? I don't even know.
No, I think it was just we were talking about the All-Star rosters. Or like, how's J-Rod starting to set it?
Yeah.
Or like, if there's so many better outfielders. Then we've seen him hit some bombs since then. Still stand by it. But yeah. Now this next trade is one of the funniest in my eyes. because the Red Sox acquired Dustin May from the Dodgers for Zach Earhart and James Tibbs III. The prized prospect in the Rafi Devers trade in James Tibbs is already getting moved for Dustin May, who is never healthy and has not been that good this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dustin May definitely needed like a change of scenery, because he's like he throws gas, like he looks nasty, like it's like I feel like he's just got to put everything together, but it's kind of hard when you're on the Dodgers. You pitch like once every 7 days. Like it's just a weird team to try and play for. I mean, Red Sox, that's gonna be another tough one though too, in my eyes. But yeah, James Tibbs, the prize possession piece, he's just gone. Watch him just become a monster for the Dodgers now. I can see it.
Actually, that would be perfect. You trade away Devers, everyone's hating on your return. Then you trade away what's supposed to be the prize guy there, and he goes and becomes a stud for the Dodgers.
That's just a double kick in the stomach right there. The biggest thing that I thought was kind of funny, I don't know if you were like active like that, like 10 minutes before the deadline, but everyone thought that Joe Ryan was going to be a Red Sox. Like it was like reported, and then it was like, oh, never mind, that didn't happen. And everyone's like, what happened? Is Joe Ryan again? And then literally breaking news: Red Sox trade for Dustin May, and everyone's like, oh, what the heck? I thought we were getting Joe Ryan, And it's like, oh. And yeah, no, a lot of people are disappointed with the Red Sox. Like, obviously you're in the heart of the wild card right now. You're 3 games up, and dude, really, no. I mean, this is the only deal they made outside of like the Devers one. But I mean, yeah, they need pitching, so it's like okay. I guess it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. Could be something, yeah. I mean, for being in the middle of the wild card race and being the Red Sox, I feel like fans wanted to see more. Wanted to see a Joe Ryan become a Red Sox. But it's all right. I think it's interesting. I mean, yeah, it isn't like James Tibbs was ever going to play that outfield there anyways. They already have enough going on in that outfield. If they didn't trade Duran, obviously, so yeah, I like it.
Like, yeah, I think it's interesting. Obviously, if you're the Red Sox and Red Sox fans, you would much rather have Joe Ryan, who's been incredible this year. But maybe you can fix Dustin May. I mean, he's got the stuff. He's just got to, like you said, put it all together. And if maybe we could see that he can help that rotation come season's end. But it's still just funny. Your prized possession, the Devers trade, just gone a month and a half later for Dustin May, of all people.
Still got Kyle Harrison.
Yep.
We got
a
bunch of mid pitchers. We got Garrett Crochet and a bunch of mid.
Yep. And now the next one we're going to talk about here is the Rays, which I think this is just a typical Rays trade. They acquired Griffin Jax from the Twins for Taj Bradley. I mean, we talked about both these guys a little bit last week. We weren't sure if Taj Bradley was going to get moved just because of how inconsistent he'd been in the majors, not looking like the prize pitching prospect he was once touted as, and like just got demoted to AAA right before we did that preview pod. We weren't sure if he was going to move. Same with Griffin Jax. We were kind of in the camp where if Duran gets moved, Jax wouldn't, or if Jax gets moved, Duran doesn't. They blew everything up. They went both guys gone. I think it's great for the Rays. They love their pitching, and you get one of the best relievers in my eyes, like of just kind of like just straight up type of stuff. Like I know Jax hasn't been great this year. He has some of the best stuff in the league. And you add him to the Rays who just love their pitching. I think it's a great move for the Rays. You give up someone in Todd Bradley who you guys kind of realize isn't going to work, at least in Tampa. Maybe he unlocks something in Minnesota. But the Rays are also still competing for that wild card spot. I think it was a great move by them to really bolster up that bullpen.
Yeah, they already had like a lot of like issues with their whole rotation. They're like, oh, is Bradley going to be in there? They have guys. They had Joe Boyle. They were like, I know Littell. Obviously, he got moved though too. They're like, they have some guys. Seymour's right there. You got guys that are like right there on the cusp of being called up. But you're like, we have too many. We have a traffic of starters right now. So getting rid of Taj Bradley was it was kind of it makes a lot of sense. Yes. Like definitely a weird package. I definitely wouldn't have expected to get Griffin Jax out of this because again, like we said, like this was like really the only deal that the Rays made. So it's like, what are we trying
I
to?
love it for the Rays.
I like
It's
it for
the
the Rays.
thing.
Yes, it's just like that's the only move you make. Like I think it's weird, but again, I love for the Twins. I think it's a great move for the Twins. I mean, honestly, I feel like they are like the winners of the deadline in my eyes with what they brought back for some of these guys. Like yeah, Taj Bradley. He hasn't looked great this year, but he's definitely shown flashes in the league. He's only 23. He throws gas. Like I think that's the kind of like young kind of potential talent you want to try and bring in if you're the Twins. Especially a guy like him he's right there on the cusp. But he probably needs some AAA, some developing. But like he'll be there. He'll give him innings in the big leagues. You know, he doesn't have to like fight for every start. And I think the Twins next year, I think they're going to be coming out guns a-blazing with all these prospects. I mean, they're all right there. So, I like it. I love it.
Yeah. Now, the last or the other one of the Yankees reliever trades was getting Camilo Doval from the Giants. They sent away 4 prospects in that after getting David Bednar. I mean, I think kind of like we said, we always like kind of reliever moves for competing teams. Doval just 2 years ago was electric in the closer role for the Giants. We saw him stumble some last year. Obviously, got sent down. Ryan Walker took over that role. But I mean, even this year, 15 saves, just over a 3 ERA, 50 Ks in 46 innings. Like he's doing good enough things that you're not bringing in Doval to be your closer for the Yankees. You're bringing him in to be like a 7th inning guy, and I think that's great for them. I mean, yeah, their bullpen now includes Bednar, Doval, Devin Williams, Luke Weaver, and Tim Hill. Plus, you get Jake Bird as well in there, who can also go into those late inning options. The Yankees are building a very nice bullpen, and I think Doval slots in perfectly in there.
He hit on the head there. I think with the Giants, the one thing I kind of like I thought right away was, all right, it's Randy Rodriguez's time there in San Francisco. He's obviously the closer. Like they're like, we love what Duvall's done. Obviously, he's been really good, but Randy's looked like the best reliever in baseball. So like, oh, let me just
insane this year.
So I think it was kind of due, you know.
Yep. And another reliever that did get moved was the basically submariner and Tyler Rogers, getting moved from the Giants to the Mets in exchange for Jose Butto, Blake Tidwell, and Drew Gilbert. Even though, we haven't seen a lot of these guys, like based on just kind of past year prospect pedigree, it kind of seems like a lot for a reliever like Tyler Rogers.
Yeah.
But also like Butto, he's shown flashes, but also who really knows? Blade Tidwell, who know? I mean, Drew Gilbert.
They're old. They're very old prospects.
Like, they're old prospects, exactly. Like Drew Gilbert seems like he's been a top Mets prospect for like 5-6 years now at this point.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it hasn't been that long, but it seems like it.
The ceiling for these guys aren't very high. You aren't like. Yeah, it sounds a lot bigger than I think it really was. Because like another thing too, you think about like the Rule 5 draft and like, oh, you're gonna have to have him in the 40-man and stuff. So I think a lot of it, like some of that was just let's just get these guys out of here and get something for them. Which Tyler Rogers, good pitcher, definitely good pitcher. So yeah,
I mean, and it just like every Giants reliever this year has been shut down all season.
Yeah.
So, yeah, now you can do stuff like I saw something like it could be interesting to kind of mess with teams if you went like Ryan Helsley in the 7th inning, then you go to Tyler Rogers throwing 81 from a submarine in the 8th inning, then you go back to Edwin Diaz for the save.
Yeah.
Like, they got some interesting like speed changes they can do now, and just looks.
The NL East is good. That's just such a good division, dude. That race. I mean, we were talking like that's going to be the race everyone's going to be following. I mean, this is. I mean, with the Phillies, I don't know if they have a lot of guys that got to sign back, man. They got to sign back freaking Schwarber, and then you also got Ranger Suarez. Like, there's some guys like I don't know if they're going to be able to bring them back. So I think this is kind of the biggest year I think for them to go compete.
Yep. A couple more trades here for you guys. We got a couple of these still prominent, but not as prominent. Where the Reds did, like you mentioned earlier, they acquired Zach Littell from the Rays for Hunter Fiducia, Brian Van Bell, and then the Dodgers were also in there acquiring Adam Cernwowski, Paul Gervais, and they got Ben Rorbet to be a backup catcher.
Um, it's weird for them. It's Reds. I like it. I guess it's kind of like a competing move. I mean, I don't think they're kind of far out of it, right? They aren't like that close to the wild card. Um, but you bring in a starter, it's kind of a win now move, honestly.
Yeah. Sure's up the back end. Like Nick Martinez hasn't been great. Throw him in
Yeah.
that fourth class spot, not bad.
I don't know. Does he have a lot of control left, Littell?
I think it might be a
Year.
year more.
Yeah. I know Paul Gervais. That guy's nasty from the Rays. He's like 6'10".
Oh, it's that dude,
demon
yeah.
from LSU. That kid. I mean, he's going to the Dodgers, of course. So watch him become a monster. But I don't really know too many of the other guys in the deal. So it's kind of a whatever deal for me.
I agree, but yeah, that is. I forgot that's who Paul Gervais was a 6'10" guy.
Yeah.
The Dodgers are going to do something with him, and he might throw 108 by the time he gets called up, for all I know. Like, he's already throwing high 90s. They might unlock something with him that's just insane, and he'll be the closer of the future.
Yeah. And Dodgers is rolling. They'll just keep rolling.
What about the Phillies acquiring Harrison Bader from the Twins for Hendry Menendez and Jeremy Vignoria?
Again, kind of a whatever deal. You mean you didn't you need an outfielder. You brought in an outfielder. You know, it wasn't Luis Robert.
Rojas. He's better than Johan Rojas.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you didn't get Luis Robert was kind of the big guy that didn't get traded out of the outfield group that everyone was expecting to. And of course, the White Sox didn't do it again. But Mullins. I think Mullins went to the Mets, right? So that kind of hurts.
Yeah. Yeah, we can go into that because that's the next one on this list.
Yeah.
Getting Mullins.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's a good. I mean, I feel like the Mets just stole freaking Mullins from what would have been a perfect spot for him to be in the Phillies. But Bader's been good in his own right. Yeah, I mean, 778 OPS, 12 bombs this year. Like he's having a good year, really good year, honestly. So
he's a good glove and center.
Yeah, so I think it's a good deal for him. You know.
Yep, and then I think Cedric is a good move for the Mets. Kind of shores in the outfit. They were trying multiple different guys in center, trying to figure out what would fit. Now you got Cedric, who's been playing good this year. He's got a 738 OPS, 15 bombs, 14 steals. He's having a good year. That should slide in well to the back end of that Mets lineup. And then even same with Harrison Bader, good glove, been hitting pretty well. It also should slide in well to both these two. Like, very good offensive team. Now you're adding just good quality bats more to that back end. That's just going to make them both even better. Plus, you get the defensive upgrade with Bader there. And then the last two trades we got that we can just kind of go over is the Reds acquiring Ke'Bryan Hayes from the Pirates for Sammy Safura and Taylor Rogers. And then the Yankees got Jose Caballero from the Rays for Everson Pereira.
Yeah, I mean, kind of both whatever deals in my eyes. I've never really been a big Ke'Bryan Hayes guy when you were glove first, kind of third baseman.
He's a glove first. Like he had that one, what was that 2023 when he was really good?
Yeah, he's young.
Where,
and they gave him a deal. Like you owe him a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, he's not. He's been bad. He's been really bad.
Yeah, his best full year was in 2023, where he had a 103 OPS plus.
Like I guess it's
and
good.
His
The Pirates
year
got out of
offensively.
that. I mean, at least the Pirates got out of that, but it's like I don't know. I still don't know what the Pirates are trying to do. It's really.
I also don't know why the Reds would want to trade for him. He had a
exactly.
OPS, he had a 62 OPS plus last year. He has a 61 OPS plus this year.
He's kind of like one of those guys. Like you wouldn't even expect him to trade because he's just been bad. You know, no one really expects him to get traded because he's just bad.
Yeah, his glove's great, but he's a detriment offensively.
As a third baseman, that should be one of your better bats in the lineup. Yeah, it's kind of confusing for Cincinnati. They had a very confusing deadline in my eyes. I think everyone could kind of agree on that. But whatever, man. If you think you could unlock something with them, go for it. You know, I mean, they don't really have anybody in that position right now, right?
No.
So
no. Yeah, why not? I guess try it, see what happens. See,
Yeah,
because I mean, if you get it back to 2023 where he's like if you can get a league average bat with Gold Glove defense, you'll take that all day.
exactly. Yeah,
Like you'll take that at third base. Like one of the best defenders paired up with a league average bat, maybe slightly above. That's a win. You just have to hope you can, or Key Bryan can figure out how to hit a baseball again and not be 40% worse than league average.
oh man. Hey, he said Caballero. I think it was a good move for the Yanks. I feel like it's like one of those deals.
Yeah.
I feel like him being on the Yankees, like it's like I can just see him being DFA'd by next year. I don't know. It just feels like one of those deals. It's just I don't know. I feel like he's just like a Rays kind of like product, and he'll just go somewhere else and suck. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but yeah, he didn't give up too much.
I was just gonna say with that, I think it's good depth for the Yankees.
Yeah.
I mean, you trade a depth guy who hasn't really panned out in Everson Pereira. You're getting Caballero, who last year had like almost 50 steals, I think. Like he almost had 50 swipes last
Did he lead
year.
the league this year? Isn't he like tied?
He's up there.
So it's like
Exactly. So I mean,
pinch
if you
runner
can
at
get that-
worst.
and you can slot him into different spots on the infield to be like late game, like pinch runner now.
Plays anywhere
you don't
besides
have to-
catcher and first base. He plays everywhere else. So it's like
Yeah, like he can
Good
play
little-
good defense for you. Like, no, yeah, exactly. So
veteran.
kind of
you
good
know,
depth.
so, yeah.
Not a bad move by them. And then, any other moves you feel like were worth mentioning here, Dwyer, or does that pretty much cover it?
I like the Jesus Sanchez one. I was just going quickly. I think that's an interesting platoon bat. They needed lefty hitting for the Astros. I thought that was a good little move. Willie Cash for the Cubs is kind of interesting. Again, Twins fire sell. They're sold. Everybody besides like Byron Buxton, honestly.
Yeah.
Because he has the no trade clause and he doesn't want to leave the Twins. So, ride or die, Byron Buxton. Interesting move for the Cubs. You said Freddie Furman. You already said that one. Jake Bird. Yeah, I mean, all those other ones were kind of like whatever. Yeah, I mean, unless you see anything, I'm pretty much good.
No. Yeah, I mean, not a lot of big names moved. I mean, the Devers tried a month and a half ago.
I do got one.
Okay.
The Steven Matz for Blaze Jordan for the Cardinals. I feel like that was a great deal for the Cardinals because Blaze Jordan's looked great in the minor leagues, and I know he's another he's one of those guys that's got to be in a 40-man. So I can see him being really good for the Cardinals. But that's it. I'm done.
No, that I get. That not a bad move for the Cardinals. You get someone like Blaze Jordan who could, like, just kind of come and mash maybe one day. Like he could develop into just a kind of power hitter. Yeah, you're gonna have Steven Matz. Who cares? Good move.
Yeah.
Who really cares that you lost Steven Matz? He's been demoted to like long relief, and that's his role basically now.
The lowly Cardinals.
Yeah, exactly. So I do agree. I forgot about that move. It was, I think, yeah, like you said, nice for the Cardinals to be able to come in and get someone who could end up being a productive bat for this team for in years to come.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I think, the biggest storylines was we didn't see Lubov get moved. We didn't see Sandy got moved. So really, when people were saying, I mean, either way, even if those guys did get moved, Devers would have still been the biggest name.
Oh yeah.
But
Sure.
I think Mason Miller's close. It's just kind of out of nowhere. We see Mason Miller get moved.
It's definitely a bigger trade. It's definitely more like craziness in the deal.
Because I mean, Lucas Rise gets sent over to Oakland.
That was a dynasty trade right there. That was a full blown dynasty. I don't think there's been a trade like that in a while.
No, that one is definitely, I think, of the actual deadline. That's by far and away the craziest move we saw. Like you mentioned, I think the Twins had a good little fire sale, got back some good prospects. Other teams did some things, and like what the Yankees did to kind of bolster up that team. Like we saw these teams make some good moves. Phillies, Mets, shore up their bullpen. Good moves out of some of these competing teams. Other than that, if you got nothing else to wire, we hope you guys enjoyed watching today's episode. Leave a like down below. Comment down below. What was your favorite move of the deadline? Were you surprised by a lot of the moves that happened as well? Turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload. And share this with your friends, family, strangers, neighbors, anything like that. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next time.